It is 4:30 in the morning. You have been awake for 22 hours. You arrived at a processing station yesterday afternoon with a small bag of approved personal items and approximately 40 other people you have never met. Since then, you have been photographed, fingerprinted, medically examined, given a series of vaccinations without being told what they are for, issued uniforms that may or may not fit, assigned a bunk in a room with strangers, told not to use your phone, and given a meal in under 6 minutes. You have not yet done a single push-up. Welcome to the United States military. The movies show you the running and the screaming and the obstacle courses. They show you the moment of transformation, the before and after, the civilian who becomes a soldier in a montage of sweat and determination. What they almost never show you is the grinding, disorienting, deliberately dehumanizing administrative machinery that comes first. The part that is specifically designed not to build you up, but to take apart who you were before you arrived. Today, we are going to walk through what actually happens to an American recruit in the first 24 hours of military service. The real version, the one the recruiter did not fully explain. Before you ever set foot on a military base for training, you go through a place called MEPS, the Military Entrance Processing Station. There are 65 of them across the United States, and every single person who enlists in any branch of the American military passes through one. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, everyone goes through MEPS first. MEPS is not training. It is processing. The distinction matters because processing is something that happens to you, not something you do. You are a package being verified, inspected, cataloged, and approved for shipment. The medical examination at MEPS is comprehensive and not gentle about your time. Vision, hearing, blood pressure, blood draw, urine sample, a physical examination that covers your entire body for conditions that would disqualify you from service. A review of your medical history that will be compared against anything you have disclosed or failed to disclose on your paperwork. A drug test. A review of your legal history, your financial history, and in some cases, your social media presence. If you pass all of that, you take the oath of enlistment. You raise your right hand and you repeat the words that have been spoken by every person who has served in the American military since the Revolutionary War. You swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You swear to obey the orders of the President and the officers appointed over you. At that moment, legally and formally, you belong to the United States government. You are no longer a civilian. The rights you have exercised without thinking your entire life, to leave when you want, to quit a job you do not like, to decide how you spend your time, have been voluntarily surrendered for the duration of your contract. Then you get on a bus. For Army recruits, the bus goes to Fort Jackson in South Carolina, or Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, or one of several other basic combat training installations, depending on your assigned unit. For Marines, it goes to Parris Island in South Carolina, or MCRD San Diego in California, depending on where in the country you enlisted. For the Air Force and Space Force, it goes to Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. For the Navy, it goes to Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes, Illinois. The bus ride is the last quiet moment you will have for weeks. For Army recruits, arrival at basic combat training follows a process called reception. Reception is not training. It is more processing, more administrative paperwork, more medical checks, more equipment issue. Recruits in reception are not yet assigned to a training company. They are in a holding state, completing the bureaucratic prerequisites for training to begin. Reception can last several days. During that time, recruits sleep in large open bays, eat in large dining facilities on a tight schedule, and wait. The waiting is its own form of pressure. You are not doing anything. You are simply existing in an environment that is not yours, surrounded by strangers, unable to contact your family freely without the phone and the routine and the small daily choices that normally structure your time. The disorientation is not accidental. It is the first stage of a deliberate process of identity disruption that the military has refined over decades of understanding how to remake civilians into soldiers. For Marine recruits, the experience is more immediate. The bus arrives at Parris Island or San Diego, the doors open, and drill instructors board the vehicle. From that first moment, the volume, the pace, and the expectation are radically different from anything in civilian life. There is no gradual introduction. The transformation begins in the first 60 seconds. Let us talk about what the first full training day actually looks like, because the physical demands are real, but they are not the hardest part. You wake before 5 in the morning, every morning, without exception. The transition from sleep to full upright activity happens in minutes and is not gentle. You make your bed to a standard you have probably never applied to anything in your life. The corners are folded at a specific angle. The surface is smooth to a specific tension. If it is wrong, you do it again. If you do it again and it is still wrong, you do it again. There is no negotiation and there is no partial credit. You eat fast. Faster than you think is reasonable. The dining facility at a basic training installation is not a place designed for the enjoyment of food. It is a fuel station. You move through the line, you sit, you eat, you clear your tray, you leave. The entire process from entering the building to exiting it can be under 10 minutes. Recruits who eat slowly either go hungry or learn to eat quickly. The military does not wait. Physical training in the first days of basic is deliberately not the most intense it will become. The trainers understand that a recruit who tears a muscle in the first week is a recruit who cannot train for months. The early physical training is designed to assess your baseline and begin building the foundation for what comes later. What it lacks in physical intensity, it makes up for in psychological intensity. You are being watched. Your performance is being noted. The drill sergeant, who does not appear to be paying attention to you, is paying attention to you. The hardest part of the first day is not the exercise. It is the absence of privacy. There is no space in basic training that is yours alone. The bathroom is shared. The shower time is shared. The sleeping space is shared. Every conversation you have is potentially overheard. Every action you take is potentially observed. For most American civilians who have grown up in a culture that treats personal space and private time as a basic expectation of daily life, the total elimination of that privacy is the single most disorienting aspect of the first days of military service. You are never alone. That is not an accident. Soldiers operate in teams. They sleep in the field beside other soldiers. They depend on the person next to them in ways that require a level of trust that privacy prevents. The elimination of personal space is the beginning of building something that replaces it: unit cohesion. The sense that the people around you are not strangers, but extensions of the same organism you are now part of. It does not feel like that on day one. On day one, it feels like chaos, exhaustion, and the persistent suspicion that you have made a significant mistake. That feeling, the military will tell you, is exactly where it needs you to be. Subscribe now. The next video goes inside the full arc of basic training. What changes in week 3 that does not happen in week 1, and the moment that every veteran remembers as the one where it clicked. Tell me in the comments. Have you served, or do you know someone who has? What was the hardest part of day 1 that nobody warned you about? Drop it below.